Hello and welcome. Today is Sunday, the 15th day of October 2017. My name is Derek. Welcome. Everything you do is within your own risk and your own reward. I myself am halfway through my rookie season, if rookie season would be a good way of putting such. It was late February, around the 22nd, I think, that date, but give or take a day around there, where I finally decided let's trade Bitcoin to try to make more. And you do so by buying alternate coins and selling them. It's really that easy. Of course, the basic strategy is just that easy. And after much consideration and thought to the strategy that I was going to use, realizing I would learn new things, and I most certainly have, that I gave myself a target to make 1% a day. And 1% a day over 1 year is outstanding gains, and I've done 1.18% thus far. So I have beaten my expectations, have done very, very well. And that's increasing Bitcoin total. So then when you're talking about, okay, so you're up that much times. That was when Bitcoin prices were 1,000. Now they're over 5,000. So my gains, you can multiply that by greater than 5. That's how amazing these gains can be had. And the only reason you can even consider making 1% a day is because of the extreme volatility in which presents itself within these markets. Throw aside, or throw also in the mix, I am a very safe, cautious, calculated gambler, better investor, and so on and so forth. But I do look for extreme, lowest risk possible for the most extreme, highest reward possible. It sounds hard to do. It is hard to do. It can be done. All right, then. I next want to talk about monetization within this site, as myself and many other content creators are getting hit with notifications that the video seems to be unsuitable for most advertisers, which means they shut the ad revenues off, I think, from that point on. So it could work out. Maybe I make this video, gets 145, 160 views after maybe 8 hours, and then I get the notification. Then any views after that, I guess I don't get ad revenue for such. It's working out that it's going to reduce my ad revenue about 20-30% from what I am looking at so far. And it really isn't much within this channel as it is anyway, because the amount that I make in a month is basically what I'm averaging right now in about 6 to 8 hours of actual trading. So I pretty much make in a month what I make when I make in a month within the ads within this channel that I do when I sleep for one night. I make about the same. That's pretty much how it's going right now. What I would like to do for this channel, and I think it'd be a good idea, is I want to put content creation. I think our premium content creation some way, somehow, and I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I think a good idea would be to continue the 2.5-minute warning videos like I have been doing every single day, free of charge, maybe some ads you might have to put up with. But put in like a daily report, like 20-30 minutes, and then charge it like a pay-per-view basis, Bitcoin, Litecoin kind of deal. But in Bitcoin, charge something like a very, very low number. Of course, you might have to stick with Litecoin because of transfer fees and such. But somewhere in the area of like this per view. I look at, if I were to charge something like, say, this, that would probably generate a decent amount of income, and at the same time, for people paying what I would consider very low prices for the content that I would put up, it would be basically the really good videos that I make, and usually a bit more, or at least my top videos should be average ones, where I would try to put like 30-minute content, go through the alternate coins as much that I can, and then just because that's, of course, what we want to try to do, is make as much as money as we can. At least that's what I'm trying to do within this crypto game. Let's move on to the charts. So it's something I'm trying to think about doing within the near future, but obviously the motivation within the monetization and how YouTube is doing such does so a bit more for myself. Okay, daily chart. Let's shorten out the candles because only reason why I showed this amount of period was because I wanted to show it from when I started. But obviously, this is what the secular bull markets do. We'll just talk about the significant lows. Everything is so obvious. The highs, and now it's looking to make a significant leg higher. And I say like this isn't much compared to here to here. You're comparing here to here. We're comparing here to here. There's a lot of upside room potential when I look at it from this point of view. Okay, so let's shorten up the time, not shorten up the time frame, but shorten the amount of candles in view. Because for me, it's a lot easier when I'm looking at less periods when trying to assess how things are moving within the 18 average and such. Well extended from this 18 average of highs, but that doesn't mean it can't continue to go further. It's just when the leg higher is complete, at some point it's going to need a test. And if there is going to be a significant leg higher, but it's going to have a small correction first, it makes sense that that would be where it would go to. And of course, thus a great spot for buying opportunities. And that's, of course, if that is what it's doing. What I like about this market, because what I was saying back in here, that we'll probably rip through the 5,000s. And basically, that's exactly what happened. It's just what markets do when you go through big key resistance. It was nothing special or fancy. Rather, the market in this particular situation did what it normally was doing. And I was talking about this bullishness before it even broke the resistance because its pattern was so bullish, and it normally would have a big break when you're looking at it in here. In this case, it did. Normally, when you break this 5,000, it's going to have a good move. Well, normally happened again. And if you're going to talk about a significant leg on a daily term time frame or several periods to get there, it's very common where you have a good leg higher, then look at this, you correct a bit, and then boom, something like that happens. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that word. Maybe I wonder if, because I got to wonder which words I'm saying on here. I'm going to have to say a lot of ASS and SHIT, I guess. I don't know. But that's normally the type of sound expression I'm used. So I probably can't stop saying it. It's just natural for me to do such. But it's just an example here. If you have a decent leg, you correct from a single point of a single move, sort of like gaining energy. And then there you have it again, BOOOM kind of thing. All right, then. So candle move higher, good one. Follow through. We can just look at it in the daily time frame and see, and you can see it better shorter or like 4 hour, 1 hour chart. But on this particular day, it extended the gains. We can see intraday it pulled back at least to where it is now, and maybe a bit more, but we know at least to that point. It followed through the next day to reach the previous day's high, which was of course on Saturday's session. On Sunday's session, we can see that the line ticked down lower than yesterday's low, a little higher than the big day's highs and close for this point. And within the intraday session, it's already rallied a little bit to have this just a small little red candle in here with only 19 minutes to go on this time frame before the day comes to a conclusion. And it's impossible to say, okay, it needs exactly this much time to go sideways before it can go up. Sort of like in here. Okay, we got to this point. We need exactly 3 days of going sideways. We're going to have a day where we'll come down, pierce through, close with the red candle, then a following day pause. So that means, I guess, Monday would have to be a pause day. And then we will have to have 4 consecutive up days in a row. No. Just the most likely scenario is that a bullish move is most likely going to entail itself. For me, it's unknown whether there's going to be any more or if this is going to be the area where the consolidation correction move will be, or if there's going to be a move back to some sort of key area. That I don't know. I think it is kind of unlikely, or more likely it's going to go well past this, say, 6250 area before it has a move below 5,000. But that I think is just more probable based on how this pattern is forming itself. But it's going to be much easier to go through this when we look at this like 4-hour time frame, 1-hour time frame, heck, even the 15-minute or 5-minute time frame if need be. Oh, and it will need be. So first, the 4-hour. And I love this pattern, this bull flag, the sideways correction that it is having. When we look at this on a candle by candle perspective, on the break here, straight up for several periods, very nice. And it didn't have any type of momentum down until it reached what is now the all-time high. Next period, I like this move in here. You correct back down with some decent volatility, and it then rallies back up to the middle part of this range, a sideways candle for the next period, little bit of a rally back up to this point. Now 3 periods in which 5,800 would have been tested, establishing that level. Another good move in here, making it close to the 18 average of highs. And then lower volatility, but good progression moves to previous high again. Took several periods to do it, but nice pattern. Now, with all of this movement, this is really strengthening how large this 5,800 variable is, or point is. Yeah, variable. I was thinking integer, because integers, no, I was thinking no decimals. But no, yeah, variable, we'll call it that. It's a huge, huge number now. And we have a situation of sellers coming in, bringing it down towards this low, but that hasn't stopped the buyers. Green candle up to this 18 average. It sideways moves it, or it just stays below it, has the shot to move lower, because it wouldn't be a surprise when you're seeing a situation where you have this red candle down, green up, red sideways, just a pause situation. And then if you were to have a red candle that, say, goes to 5,200, now you're talking about being concerned that you're resisting this over. You're probably going to have a rally up to 5,400 that will meet with the 18 average, and you're going to start a pattern, or this is going to start a bear market on this particular time frame, which was not what happened. Instead, you get a quick move, breaking the 18 average of lows fast to the 18 average of highs. Okay, so now things on the contrary are a lot different. Nice. Okay, so now its next possible resistance level is a test of this 58. It hasn't got there yet, but close. High or low within this area. Just want to shorten it out to see it clearly, but we can see right now, just by looking at the 4-hour chart, that this resistance is probably the amazing area to buy if it even does happen to go there. That's a decent bid opportunity as I look at it. 60-minute, seeing more of this sideways movement. And in here, this is that resistance we talk about. Has gotten above the 18 average, most obvious, of course. And after this green candle up, it is showing a little bit of pause consolidation. 60-minute time frame, 9 minutes, 26 seconds left. That tells me that it's pretty much done the period. It has done what I would like to see, and that is after you have a big green candle like this, a statement that this thing is going to go bullish again, is it instantly doesn't sell back to this support level, or even deeper, of course. That's what you don't want to see. Was not seen. So we've seen the 60-minute. Let's transfer this over to, let's go 15. As when this thing broke out past this resistance field, it just kept going. But when we look at this more closely, and I'm going to think the 5-minute shows this better, actually. So I'll show this now, and then but anyway, so I was just looking at it recently just before making this video. This resistance point obviously established for sure that the upper end, being around the 55 down to about 55.30 or so. Then after this down move, it had this 55.25 area that was played in as well. So you have like a little variable key, or this whole huge area of resistance within what was a developed range for the day. And the interesting thing when you see a range-bound market like this is if it makes a very fast move upwards to this point, it should send alarm bells that it's either going to just keep going higher, which has been the case, or it's going to probably come back maybe to this key level and then do what it has already done. Usually the case when you see something like this. I think the 5-minute actually shows it a little bit better. Let me just put that in to clarify if I was right, because it was having some good support tests amongst the 15 or the 18 average, which should be sideways and ready to go lower now. Let's take a look. And not turn lower, but yeah, definitely gone sideways, because after its move occurred, it didn't have any type of 18 average test until here. But I mean, it had a little bit of sideways movement in this point. If this area doesn't hold, then this would be the most likely a good decent buy point, very short term. But the whole situation, when you have any kind of decent rally like this, if you're looking at any kind of chart, it's an obvious read for what it must do, because this was an obvious sideways congestion point that had an amazing breakout from the resistance. So therefore, the most obvious point is it has to hold the key area it came from. But you got this low. I mean, you really don't want a higher low much lower than this. It can easily just break out now, even possibility in here. But that's what you're looking for on the bullish scenario, is any kind of, just, you have your move, you let some early sellers come in, and then let the ask orders replenish themselves a little bit to make it more intriguing for buyers to come in, situations like that. But very bullish overall for the Bitcoin chart. 17 minutes in, and I wanted to do a few alts, so let's go through them quickly. And I want to go to the first and the last altcoin, in which I've bought on my crypto trade. I've been doing this for well over 200 days, been doing very, very well. But the way I look at it is, and I don't brag really, but when I do, it ain't bragging if you do it and you back it up. And I think I've been backing it up really well. Okay. When you see this type of volatility, this is something that's went from 15,000 Satoshi, currently in at 1745. Yikes. That's pretty close to a 10x loss. It might even be more so. It might even break this 1500 level. In fact, it probably, I'm not going to say would, but I'll rhyme it with could. I bought this just recently at about 1,400 and change. And how can I be buying it at 1,400? It's nowhere near there. Well, I didn't buy it on the Poloniex exchange. There are smaller exchanges out there. When people really want to sell, I guess, it takes a long time to transfer Bella coins to Poloniex. They need 1,000 confirmations, so maybe that's the reason why not. But no, on other exchanges, you can oftentimes get deals on bull and bear markets. So on down markets, people just looking to sell, and then you want to buy on the cheap. Now, I think these fire sale prices overall are going to exist and be very good, that there's going to become a time within the crypto space, and I'm guessing early November, that altcoins will be just rising like no other after they have already been sold off pretty harsh as it is. And it'll get to the point where you could pick like 50, 60, 70 random coins, and well over 90% of them are going to have gains, and a lot of them are going to have monstrous gains along the way. I think these times are coming. A lot of it does work within the Bitcoin gold, because you're going to get free coins just by having Bitcoin. I've now put the ETC Ethereum Classic chart on the screen. And, well, I was thinking when I made my video early October that throughout the month of October, I'm going to be accumulating Bitcoin and distributing altcoins. My first thought was just sell all your altcoins. It's going to take you 6, 7, 8 hours maybe to do completely. And get most of it done in 20 minutes. And then just have fun for the rest of the month. Maybe even go on a vacation. It would work out. Trading mechanism time frame to be the perfect time. I still think it is, actually. At least it's better now than any time in the future, because just hold Bitcoin, wait for the whole fork. And then soon after that, alt buying time is going to be going. It's going to be buy. Anything, almost everything is what the plan will be for me. And I wish, and I should have. You know better. You just think about your mistakes. You're like, okay, you make it, so be it. Let it go. Because what I should have done around October the 4th was sell everything in alternate coins, 100% of them. I'd have about 7% more Bitcoin had I done so, but that's fine. And then just have fun for the rest of the month. Handicap hockey and just, you know what? Just wait, let the Bitcoin price rise, let the fork come through, and then buy. That's what I should have been doing. And I'm even thinking now, do I just sell? Well, I haven't, but I was honestly thinking about doing that. Okay. Last I talked about ETC, I mentioned the head and shoulders pattern. As we have the left shoulder, right shoulder, and then this very wide, long head. Major next line support was in and around what we had in here. We can see that support line was resisted. It was resisted along with the 18 average. And you know what? That's all normal, how you do kind of stuff. This support level, it was tested for several days, a little bit of a rally. Had several days not doing much in here. So when you have this move and these big size red candles, that's what you got to expect. I mean, why would you expect differently? That's just what markets do. So the head and shoulders pattern coming into play right now, and these alternate coins can keep on declining. Even if you just look at the mathematics of where we stand right now, you're holding this. Whether you're in, doesn't matter when you get in, really. If it doesn't wear you out, if it doesn't scare you out, wear you out, but at some point, the whole panic comes in. You're like, oh my goodness, this is just going to keep going lower. And you don't even think, oh my goodness, what a great buying opportunity this is starting to become. No, you think, oh, let's sell. Which brings very good buying opportunities into place. Now, trying to time it again, I think it makes it a little easier for me to try to attempt to do so with the Bitcoin gold that's coming into place. I certainly wouldn't be an enthusiastic buyer right now at this level when it's only broken the neckline by this. I mean, it's an okay amount, but actually it's broken it by this. Yeah, maybe. But again, because of the market dynamics of the time frame, altcoins are going lower. And let's continue on with a couple other ones. Ripple, you can say, is hanging in there. After this rally higher, it's just this long sideways consolidation. But this is well after it got its ASS kicked from the earlier part of the year. So it's continuing its sideways congestion move, and just a few other ones. We got Neo, which is showing an inverted cup and handle kind of formation. Just simply a pattern where after a decline, you make a significant lower high, and you're now back to previous low. So that's where the market situation stands. This level is huge as far as its relevance is concerned, and it by far would not surprise me if the support level gets taken through and it at least has a move into this previous congestion area that it had from the summer. Whether they would break support like now or tomorrow or very shortly without, or whether maybe it might make a move up to this previous a resist or support level that would probably coincide with the 18 average. It could go either way, but I do think that the probability is that it's got a better chance of having a break of support and a decent leg lower than it does having a test of this previous high. That's how I would be viewing this right now within this market. Ethereum is next. Like in so many other alternate coins, it has been in a bear market since that time. Was priced over the 15 handle. It's now 5.9 handle, or it's lost about 3 times its value against the cross on Bitcoin. And this little current look in here, I'm not too enthusiastic within its look on a bullish level right now. Okay, let's next take a look. I'm going to take a look at any type of market that I'll find on the internet that's recently moving upwards, if there is any. Let's see what I can find. And what popped up was Mona, but not because of what we're looking at on this chart after this huge rise higher and a little bit of consolidation. But apparently within the last hour, this thing is soaring right now. So let's take a look at the shorter term time frame. And sure enough, it is. When CoinMarketCap's got good data. If I were to see something like this, which I am, and I really wanted to feel like day trading it, which I don't, then I may place the bids somewhere in here, 62. I may look for a little bit of a deeper correction, maybe in towards this 18 average or a small pierce below the 18 average of lows. But yep, we'll just I'll put on the silver chart and end this video. I haven't seen silver since like Friday, but it doesn't move on the weekend, and it's only 8:11 p.m. Eastern time, so it's only 2 hours and 11 minutes into the trading week. And all that's happening on the silver daily chart is that it has broken this key resistance established level. It did so within this 4-hour time frame 3 periods ago. So it ended the Friday session with a nice bullish move up to key previous resistance. It is opening today's session a little bit above this point, but holding in there, grinding higher within this move. Probably should extend at least to the 1750 point short term, but even more realistically towards 1760 before any type of serious pullbacks or noticeable ones. That's what I would guess within this market. But for me, you know what? Silver, it's getting close to a buying opportunity. Of course, it's going to be based on the Bitcoin prices, as one of the things I do enjoy about trading Bitcoin is actually selling Bitcoin for real items like silver and food and things of real nature, thus cashing out the investment. But for silver, it's not cashing out the investment, or small amounts of it, that is, but it's actually switching or changing over the I mean, you always buy and sell different things, so it's just moving an investment over from cryptos to physical, keyword physical silver. That's what I like to do, but I like to do it when Bitcoin prices are higher, and my plan is to buy this next when Bitcoin, I don't care about this price, I care about the Bitcoin price to buy when it is around 6,500 plus. Thank you for tuning in. Take care.